Hello and welcome to the Money Marketing Podcast. I'm Kimberly Dondo, Digital Content Manager. And in this week's Weekend Essay podcast, we have Chief Reporter Lois Vallely sharing her experience with personal debt. Take it away, Lois.
I have a confession. I'm in debt. And I don't just mean student debt, which, let's be honest, is more like a tax. I mean, I have about £9,000 of personal loan left to pay back. As a journalist writing about financial advice, it pains me to make this admission, but I feel that now is the time. The other day, when my mum and I were chatting about something completely unrelated, she suddenly said, "Do you want me to see if I can get you some financial advice?" I paused for a second before saying, "You do remember what my job is, right? Besides, it's not as though I'm not aware of why I've reached the point I have. It was around this time last year that my ex-boyfriend and I broke up, and I decided to take the opportunity to travel up and down the country, seeing pretty much every friend I've ever made, and every family member I'm still in touch with, which is a lot of people. There wasn't a weekend between March and September that I was at home doing nothing. It was a very deliberate move to ensure that I didn't have time on my own to dwell on anything. Anyway, I didn't exactly live frugally. I barely looked at my bank account, aside from when I received the odd and slightly alarmed text from Starling Bank saying, "You're reaching the end of your overdraft limit. Call us if you need help." I burned through all the money I was earning and kept telling myself that what I was doing was for the benefit of my mental health. And it was. I was having a great time. I went to Belfast 5 times to visit my best friend, who I hadn't seen for 5 years. I went to Cardiff for another friend's hen weekend and then wedding. I went to Germany to see a friend I hadn't seen in about 8 years. I went for nights out with my old school friends. I went to Gloucestershire to hang out with my cousins who have horses, which is a bonus. I went to Cornwall to visit one of my sisters. You get the picture. But my spending was getting slightly out of control. I've never been very good at budgeting. I have a strange dichotomy where my dad, who is an expert budgeter, has always drilled into me the importance of doing so. But my natural inclination is to spend now and deal with the consequences later. And I've always lived beyond my means, no matter what my salary. Martin Lewis always says it's important to pay off your debts before you save or invest. Technically, I'm not in debt because what's in my lifetime ISA is more than the debt I owe, but I do want to keep that money there because otherwise I lose my government contribution. I used to watch Martin Lewis's Money Show. He does give some good tips for saving, such as check you're not making monthly payments on any subscriptions or services you don't need or use. And make sure you check before your car, home, pet insurance renews so that you can get a better deal. I already do all of this obsessively, so that doesn't really help me. I need to get out of debt before I invest or save, so telling me what the best funds or savings accounts are also doesn't really help me. Ultimately, I need to get better at budgeting and stop frittering away money on things I don't need. This seems like a simple thing to do, but like any addiction, it's so deeply ingrained into my psyche that it's a hard habit to break. I don't really know what the point in me writing this is, other than that it's very therapeutic to tell an audience of financial advisors that I don't practice what I preach in money marketing. I suppose, though, what I say here illustrates how little the availability of financial information, of which there is a lot out there, really helps. I had an interesting conversation with the team earlier about advice versus guidance, and we had a bit of a debate about whether financial advice should be a privilege or a right. I don't have enough money to be able to receive so-called full-fat advice, although my parents' financial advisor does sometimes tell me what I'm doing wrong. But going back to my mum's question, maybe I would benefit from guidance. In fact, in the time it has taken me to write this weekend essay, I've realised I really would benefit from financial coaching. Saying I don't need to because I know exactly what I should be doing, I'm just not doing it, isn't the best mindset. It's like saying I don't need therapy, I know exactly why I feel the way I do. It doesn't help you actually move past whatever you're hung up about and get better. This year, I plan to get financially better. Without being boring, obviously.
Thanks, Lois, for that very personal Weekend Essay podcast. We do hope that you enjoyed it. Please do keep up to date with all our new releases via Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts from. You can also keep up to date with all our new content published on the Money Marketing website, as well as our print edition Money Marketing magazine. So make sure to subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next time. Join us at Money Marketing Interactive Leads on Thursday, 11th May. Just go to Money Marketing's website to secure your seat at our industry-leading event and hear from notable figures in the industry. See you there.